Hey guys, this video is going to be about finding the line of best fit and also interpreting parts of the equation. So to start off, I just want you to have a little refresher that a linear model is in the form of y equals mx plus b. M is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So words that mean the same thing as slope is if you see per or each, what it's increasing or decreasing by. Basically, the slope is the change. It's what you're going to be adding each time or subtracting each time. Words that mean the same thing as y-intercept is the starting amount or initial. It could mean a flat fee. All of those words would mean the same thing as the y-intercept. So as a reminder, when you're graphing, the y-intercept is the point that you start at on the graph, and then the slope tells you the rise over run. So that's how you make your line. Right, so that's just a quick little reminder. All right, so here we have a plumber uses the function C of n equals 12n plus 40. So I can tell right away that this looks like y equals mx plus b. I can replace this with y, and then I can rewrite it instead of 12n, I can write it as 12x plus 40. So this is linear. So the plumber uses that function to determine the amount of money they will charge a customer for a job that takes n hours. So that part is important to know what the n, which I changed to the letter x, stands for. So one of my questions says, what is the x? So x, which was originally n in the equation, is the hours. N is how much time, or x is how much time it's going to take. So in this story, they're going to use this equation to determine the amount of money they will charge a customer for a job that takes n hours. So if x is the number of hours, then y is the amount of money. So y is the money that they charge. Is this a linear model? Yes, and I can tell because it looks like y equals mx plus b. All right, so now that I know that it's a linear model, I know that it looks like y equals mx plus b, I figured out what the x stands for, I figured out what the y stands for. What does the slope represent? So which one of the numbers is the slope? The slope is the number in front of x. So if my slope is 12, that means $12 because that's what this equation is about. And then I have to use words like this, or if it's multiple choice, I have to look for words like this. The slope is going to be how much this is increasing by each hour, or that's what he's going to charge per hour. I have to use words that are like this. So it's a $12 added each hour, and a $12 increase each hour, $12 per hour, any of those would be fine. The y-intercept is the 40 that's at the end. So that means $40, and we can use anything like this. That's what they start at, that's the initial amount, that's the flat fee that they charge, $40, I'm going to use flat fee. So basically, the plumber charges $40 just to show up, and then they're going to add $12 every single time. So if I don't know how to solve equations, remember, solving equations is just one strategy. We can make a table, we can make a pattern, we can make a graph. What this means is at 0 hours, that plumber is charging $40. That's what the y-intercept tells you. The y-intercept is however much is in the y column, but the x is 0. And 1 hour is going to be a $12 increase. So if I do 40 plus 12, that's going to bring me up to 52. 2 hours is going to be another $12 increase. So now I'm up to 64. 3 hours is another $12 increase. So now I'm up to 76. And so you see every time I go up, I'm adding 12 because that's my slope. And then this was my y-intercept. I always start with 0 and the y-intercept. So to answer a question like how much money will they charge a customer for a job that takes 3 hours? Well, I can look on my table, and I actually made my table already go up to 3. 3 hours means it'll be a $76 charge. And the way I would figure that out using the equation, $12x plus 40, 3 hours. Hours is what the x stands for. So I would plug in 3 wherever I saw x. So 12 times 3 is 36, plus 40 is 76. So 2 different ways of answering that question. How long does it take a job if the plumber charged $136? So this means I'm solving for x. I'm solving for how long it takes. So if I use my y equals 12x plus 40, I'm looking for when is the y equal to 136. And so if I wanted to, I mean, I could continue my table and just keep adding 12 until I got to 136. I could also try to put this into y equals in the calculator and go to the graph. I'm just going to minus 40 from both sides because the 40 is the flat fee. So I'm going to subtract the flat fee. And then now I know how much it is per hour, so I'll divide by 12. So 96 divided by 12, I think is 8. Yeah, so 8 hours. All right, so those types of questions are similar to questions that ask you to do linear regression. So linear regression and line of best fit mean the same thing. So if you see 1 in the directions, they both mean the same thing. In the calculator, like as soon as you start the EOC, as soon as you get your calculator, what you should do is press the button that says mode. And then all the way down at the bottom, see where it says stat diagnostic? Go ahead and hit yes. Not on. Stat diagnostic. Oh no, it does say on. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Go ahead to where it says on. Hit enter. And that will help you if the question says something about the correlation or the correlation coefficient. We're going to need that stat diagnostics to be on. All right, so the table below shows the U.S. average life expectancy at birth in years in various decades. So the X column represents the number of years since 1930. The Y column is how long each person is expected to live. So it says write a linear regression. So that means line of best fit. So we need to get it into the calculator. The calculator does the line of best fit for us. So I'm going to push the button that says stat. And then I'm going to click enter on edit. And I'm going to make the X stuff go in L1 and the Y stuff go in L2. Now for the sake of time, I already did that. So if I push stat, the button that says stat, and enter, I already made my L1 and L2 the same as what is in this table. All right, so now I'm ready to get the equation. I'm going to put stat again, And this time I'm going to arrow over to where it says calc, and then I'm going to choose option 4. So I'm going to hit stat again. I'm going to go over to calc, and I'm going to hit option 4. L1, L2, I'm going to skip that, and where it says store, I'm going to push a few buttons here, because what I want to do is I want to get this into y equals. So I am going to hit alpha trace. Alpha trace is the quickest way to pull this up. And see where it says y1? I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter on y1. So where it says store, I'm going to hit alpha trace and select y1. And then just go ahead down and hit enter where it says calculate. So the calculator gives you the a and the b, where a is the same thing as the slope. That's the m, and b is the y-intercept. So I kind of already ran out of room. So I'm just going to have to transfer where it says a equals, I'm going to round that to 0.21, and that's my slope. See where it says AX? So A is your slope, so round that off, and then plus B. So B is my 62, I might as well just say 62.7. Plus 62.7. That is my regression model. That is my line of best fit. So you just plug in the y equals AX plus B, you just plug in the A, and you plug in the B. The R squared number that's there, and the R, that's how you would answer a question about the correlation. So I don't know that that's going to come up today, but since this says 0.98, anything close to 1 is really good. So this would have a really good correlation because 0.98 is close to 1. All right, so what is the meaning of the slope? The slope is the 0.21. And remember that we're going to use words like increase, decrease, per, or each. This story is about the life expectancy. So this means it's an increase because it's positive of 0.21 years. 0.21 is the increase life expectancy. So it's going to go up 0.21 years since 1930. What is the meaning of the y-intercept? The y-intercept was the 62.7. And so that means that's the starting life expectancy, the initial life expectancy. And since this story started at 1930, that's the beginning. So I'm going to incorporate that it's been since 1930. So that's the starting or initial life expectancy since 1930. But the slope is the A number and the y-intercept is the B number. Predict the life expectancy at birth for a person born in 2015. So the first thing I want to realize is my X's are years since 1930. So the first thing I'm going to do is 2015 minus 1930. Because I need to know how many years it's been. And so that's 85 years. So basically I'm looking for when is X going to equal 85. I'm going to hit Y equals, and my whole entire equation is there. I'm going to go to the table. And this might take a little while, but I'm going to go to where my table says 85. And whatever it says next to 85, that's going to be my answer. All right, because I'm running out of time in this video, I'm going to jump right there. A shortcut is just to click second window, but there it is, 80.36. So they would be expected to live 80.36 years if they were born in 2015.